well, sorry about that. Little bit of a mix-up in the beginning of this very first game of the best of 7. Normally, our lovely Saber says go, and he just didn't say go, so I don't know what's going on. They're trying to impress Cybert, probably. But in the top right-hand corner of Overgrowth, representing my insanity, it is the Purple Zerg player hailing from Sweden, EnDerr.
Woo! And his opponent, hailing from the Philippines, down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, representing Team Psystorm, which is apparently a tornado, it is EnDerr.
Now, I'm kind of curious about my insanities. Always gets me, it's just a ragdoll. I think Trigonal always says how it creeps him out, but, you know, it's a rag. What else would you be insanity? Ragdoll equal insanity.
I've never actually considered that until now. But yeah, their logo actually is kind of bizarre.
Yeah. I only realized that once I was told it, but after I was told, I was like, that is strange. But both players just went, I believe, Hatch then Pool. No. Wait. Yes, they went Hatch then Pool for them. Same thing.
Yep, Hatch first for both players, Gas first for one of them. I didn't actually remember which one, but overall, the builds are very similar in the opening, and this mirror, I mean, some people complain about how ZVZ can be a bit coin flippy, it can be a bit of a knife fight, and this one, well, it looks like both these guys are going to have a chance to know what the other guy is doing.
It was gas first by Winter, I believe. He had just a little bit more gas at this point. Of course, it can be a little bit flipped up, but yes, as you were saying, ZVZ normally normally the metaphor is a knife fight. Two guys run in, they start stabbing each other, and whoever gets out alive, whoever's alive has already been stabbed, but they're like, I stabbed you more. I got you.
That is about right. Usually someone eventually deviates and tries to bring a gun, but while he's buying the gun, lings attack him. Is usually the case. But we get a couple lings coming into Winter's base here up top, so actually trying to get one droned, gets it really low, but does stay alive with 2 HP. Mm-hmm. But yeah, information, basically the information that he's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, just checking. Just checking for any gas there. Spots everything. On the other side of the map, we do see we do see some from Winter. Did not get any scout, or actually, he did get a full scout off, but not quite exactly the timing he'd want to check for gases, but that was because a little bit earlier on. But
yeah, Winter actually, since the lings were in there, faked, he started speed, and then canceled it as soon as the lings were dead, and started this lair instead. So trying to mind game his opponent there a little bit.
Yeah, definitely a much quicker layer coming out from Winter. He also does have the +1 missile attacks on the way, which is always an important thing to note in a mirror matchup, as those upgrades can be the make or break point for either team.
Yeah, definitely. While both are going roaches, that's really key. Okay, do you have roach speed? Do you have +1/1? Just very, very subtle upgrade leads do allow you to have huge leads more into the late game. And I'm kind of really curious for now. Okay, I just got to point out Winter's got 4 on one of that, but never mind, I take that back, he changes it. But one thing I'm really curious about is if these players are going to stay on only 2 base for a while and push. Actually, as I say that, we see a 3rd base from Winter. But actually, we see that from both. I was expecting maybe a little bit of aggression right there before they did that, but both actually decided to, nope, it's cool, man. You hold back, you do what you want.
Yeah, I think in this case, too, these are conditional thirds where they may drone them, they may just become roach production depending on what's necessary, but instead of making it like a macro hatch, you may as well take it as your third, and then you can decide after the fact.
Yeah, now depending on when our first engagement happens, we do have the bit of a roach lead for EnDerr, which of course he's not pushing out across the map. He's not looking to do big damage now, but there is going to be a slight window, and again, slight being the emphasis here, that Winter will have an upgrade advantage. Now, it again doesn't look like there's going to be anything to really take advantage of that advantage, which is a poor way to put that. But we do need to keep that in mind as we head into like 2-2 and the next stages of the game.
Yeah, definitely. Just a little bit of the upgrade leads from EnDerr, as you were saying. But how it's kind of looking to shape up is EnDerr is about maybe 20, 25 seconds ahead of Winter here. But still, with the size of this map, obviously it's not 20, 25 seconds big. But I think it's probably going to even up fine. And both these players do know their opponent has taken the third base. So, I mean, they're both kind of, it's the unspoken thing. Okay, we both know we're going up to those roaches. Nothing too crazy is happening. But we do see EnDerr moving out, and Winter does spot it fine with these overlords, so both players pretty much, they know exactly what's going on.
Yep, and both with the +1, both with the speed, like you said. +2 has already started on Winter's side of things. He's got roaches in position here at the third base, trying to preset a concave there. Doesn't want to chase too far, but he will take a couple snipes at a roach or two there.
Yeah, 1 or 2 roaches always just means so big, and ZVZ are, at least in any mirror matchup where it's one unit versus 1 unit, just a little bit of a lead spirals and snowballs so quickly, especially in ZVZ.
Yeah, and for now, the slight lead that EnDerr has had in the economy, he hasn't really been able to do all that much with. As you mentioned, I mean, it does take any advantage that either player has needs to still be in effect by the time they move across the map, and so they've got all of that time counting against them. And the Hydra Den. So in Roach vs. Roach, the thing that I always look for is what player does something different and what do they choose. Some players go into Baneling, some go into Muta, but Hydra I feel like is definitely the more common option.
Yeah, Hydra's a lot more common. Now, the key is here is that you don't want to overproduce the Hydras into the composition, or then the Roaches just crush them. But a couple Hydras mixed in, or not even, sorry, not a couple, that does infer two, but just a few Hydras mixed in provides so much extra DPS, but it's got to be at the right time and not too late, or if, sorry, not too early. Like I was saying, if there's too many Hydras, it will kind of screw you over in Roach vs. Roach.
Yeah, for sure. And they're the type of thing that you want to get out when your Roach front of the army is kind of already ready. It's hard to reinforce as much with Hydras because then you end up in not knowing whether you should make more Roaches or whether you can get away with getting Hydras. Because if you make a round of Hydras and you lose that Roach front, then you just get this squishy, exposed reinforcement coming, and it doesn't really help you out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Baneling Nest.
Yeah, interestingly enough, we've got the much faster Infestation Pit for EnDerr, which is already finished up, and then the Baneling Nest to follow that up. So we could be seeing some really sick pathogen glands, fungal growth into Baneling combinations, and I think we've all seen that win games, but it is kind of dependent on that control.
Yeah, very much dependent on that control, but I kind of feel like EnDerr has got that in only the thing that he's like split up his entire army on the left-hand side and is microing almost each unit by itself. Not each unit, but it does look like he's going to go in for multi-pronged attack, and I feel like we've seen from EnDerr some great control before. Both players doing the same thing so far, except for the Hydra. Actually, the Hydraless Den for EnDerr is a lot later, and there's already Hydras kind of mixed in with Winter's force, so if either of these small Roach forces for EnDerr get caught off guard, they're going to get smashed, and I fear a little bit for EnDerr's safety of actually splitting up his army, even though maybe he's going to rely on those infestors to get some great fungal growths, but I don't know if he can do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I kind of want to know the logic of the split. I mean, I guess he's looking for just small run-by groups.
He's done this before.
More than anything, yeah. I mean, he's got amazing vision of everything that's going on. There's not really anything on the map that he can't see, so he knows that this force is coming through, and he has to collapse his split army back into one, which he will. And he's got actually spines coming up at his natural, so that should help out.
Yeah, what's also great about just having a few Hydras, at least with Winter's force, is that early game ZVZ, I mean, you got Overlords, and nothing can deny it from EnDerr's side, not the Infestors at least, so big attack going on right here, though.
Yeah, so as we head into this, EnDerr has definitely got the superior concave, but the Hydras for Winter are pushing in. He's starting to collapse the right flank, and now I'm not actually sure that this engagement is that much better for EnDerr. These fungal growths may be able to sell this battle for him as he gets a good one. A second one fires off. Pretty good clumping here, but does he have the reinforcements? We've got 18, 19 Roaches on the reinforcement count for EnDerr, and he should be able to stream a lot of these directly to this front line and hold this wave.
Ooh, One Infestor comes in for Winter at the top of this, but it looks like almost all of, pretty much the entire army of Winter has been destroyed except for 3 Hydras, and only 1 Hydra now. EnDerr is looking for blood, and is he actually going to back off? He's backing off for now, but what really saved EnDerr right there is that he got Pathogen Glands. This round of 4 Infestors came in, and bam, they could do Fungal right off the bat, and that was so big, which really allowed him to turn the tide. And at the moment, though, it is pretty much completely even on Roaches. I mean, they both kind of settled in, except for EnDerr has this 4th base going, nothing at it yet, and not producing off of it, but, I mean, that's still pretty big that his Winter does not even have a 4th base even in the works yet.
Yeah, it is there at the gold, not in the upper position.
Wow, I'm actually an idiot.
Yeah.
Wasn't even paying attention right there. But the gold one's completely down. It wasn't quite there for me.
Yeah, and then the other thing to note is that as we look at a Remax situation, we've got 75 drones for EnDerr, which of course is going to be great in saturating that 4th base. He just made a big round of drones, so he has no fear about an attack. And of course he can be reasonably confident, given how the last engagement went, that he's going to be able to hold the next push. And actually, I mean, he wouldn't be too far off. Really, Winter needs to find some sort of advantage to really break through, because they've been so evenly matched up to this point.
Yeah, and with EnDerr's such an earlier 4th base right there, I agree with you. One nice thing, though, for Winter is he's going to be able to attack off his 4th base. His units are going to come in a little faster, but then this little path of creep that is just to the left of EnDerr's army currently kind of going into the gold base of Winter, at least. He's going to be able to defend and retreat off of that really well. That's kind of one of the dangers in ZVZ, just spreading your own creep like that. I think it'll really favor him.
Yeah, the other advantage kind of on Winter's side now, he's had the Hive for quite a while. The +3 upgrade is over halfway done now. He's a little farther along on the Carapace, but the +3 attack does really make itself worthwhile, and it's going to be a ways off on the other side of things, as the Hive is really just kind of started. It's about halfway done.
Yeah, he hasn't even started. Yeah. Hive just started, just about halfway done, exactly as you're saying. I was going to say hasn't even started it yet, or hasn't even started the upgrade, obviously, because he needs Hive.
Yeah, so he's going to have about 2 minutes, or actually closer to 3 minutes game time of actual advantage there with the +3.
We're seeing Go ahead.
The interesting development from Winter that I think you were just going to touch on is the overmax that he's got, 206. He may be looking for blood. He hasn't quite pushed out just yet, as we do see EnDerr is cleaning up some overlords. Here's the move out from Winter. He does have the Spire on the Remax, so we'll have to see if he's able to use this bank for more Roach Hydra, or if it's going to be into Mutas, but this could be very awkward with this breakup.
It could be awkward, but at the same time, for a second right there, as EnDerr was retreating, Winter could have got an amazing concave and actually just a straight-up flank on that army. But I really like that both these players are going Spire here, and I really think it's cool that they're actually, both triggered that to them, but Winter's is a little bit quicker in this situation. So if he does take this engagement soon, before the before EnDerr's finishes, he's gonna have a lot more meters.
Yeah, he may be waiting, like, for this main force here. He knows he's got the +3 attack advantage. He may be waiting for this +2 armor to finish, and if he strikes right at that window, he'll have about 20-30 seconds of really strong advantage, but then still about 2 more minutes of the +3 without his opponent having it.
Yeah, the other advantage that Winter will have, again, if he's timely on his strike, is the army advantage. 47 drones to 74. We're talking about a 40 army advantage overall for Winter, plus the upgrades, which, that upgrade window is shrinking, and he's not even going to have the +2 armor advantage upgrade, but we'll have to see what his transition point is, because he's still staying on his half of the map. He's just playing defensive.
Yeah, it's weird to me that he's doing that. Now, EnDerr may be pressing the issue here coming over to the other side, but yeah, it's strange that you would overmax like that, kill off a lot of your own drones, and then not attack.
Yeah, and both players literally at 60 larva apiece, so neither one really has a big Remax capacity here. We do see a little bit of a Roach run by into the third of Winter. We'll take out 1 or 2 drones here, but it should be cleaned up fine. At the same time, I just like Roaches kind of everywhere. It throws your opponent off. Even if you simply A-move them, you can do some cool stuff with that. But right now, both players, neither as Cyber was saying, are being aggressive, but each one kind of posturing on their side of the map. They keep moving, they're prodding, they're looking for that little bit of an opening, and they're going to take it, and it's going to be really decisive.
Yeah, but who's going to be the first one to make the move? As you mentioned, those small pockets of roaches, they're not getting tremendous work done. Yeah, they are doing a little bit here and there. But until we see that big engagement, this game is certainly still up in the air. Now, we do have the 6 Broodlords, so that is EnDerr's choice. He is like, this is where I'm going to gain my advantage. It's going to be with those free units.
Yeah, I think that Winter has kind of sat through his long advantage. He's lost everything that was in his favor. He's still got the army supply advantage for sure, but it's just not the army he wants anymore. There's a huge window for this army, and I think it just closed with the creation of these Broodlords.
Yeah, even with Winter's current army, just right before those Broodlords, or right before the Spire finished, he was getting Greater Spire about 20 to 30 seconds before EnDerr. So, I mean, he could hit was so strong with just a couple Broodlords mixed in with this huge army, provides just a little bit of extra DPS. And, I mean, as you're saying, they're free units. They just keep working. But we do see right now, Winter's kind of breaking up his army a little bit. I'm guessing we're going to see a Roach hit squad going down the bottom right-hand corner.
He needs to clear supply.
Yeah,
that's what EnDerr was doing. He was very strategically clearing supply for this by sending those small groups in. Now it's Winter's turn to do that, but it maybe should have been done a long time ago.
Winter loses 3 infestors, actually, not nicely. 3 of them were fungal growth. And also on the third base near for EnDerr, a couple of Winter Roaches are getting in, and I'm kind of curious where they're going to see. They go by the spine crawlers, nothing happening there, and they're going for the natural then. Actually splitting up even. I can't watch this much. There's too much happening.
In the middle of the map, we do have the move out from EnDerr. He's actually starting to make some headway with the Broodlords. He does have Infestors and Corruptors for support, but if this Roach Hydra army gets close, which they're not, all right, so there's the turnaround for EnDerr. It's not going to be a base trade scenario. He's going to be trying to deal with this army.
And, I mean, Winter going straight into all those spine crawlers, loses a lot right there. A very nice fungal growth onto those Hydralisks. Same thing with some Roaches there. And right now for EnDerr, my only concern is, yes, he does not want to get on top of those Hydras with those Broodlords. Stay at a nice...
Those Infestors were really exposed for a second.
Yeah, so far,
they were
nice
exposed. Yeah, but, I mean, they were able to get a nice fungal growth there, and he manages to keep them alive. Wow. And Winter wasn't really capitalizing on all of the opportunities he had.
Yeah, Corruptors coming in now, a lot of them. But
I even feel that EnDerr should have just killed that entire army with how he was fungal growthing, but I mean, I guess he will let a couple of them get away. Not too much, though, not at all. Currently, it is a 170 to the 190 of Winter, as you were saying before. There's so many more drones for EnDerr here, and these Corruptors, though, for Winter, engaging some of these Broodlords. They will actually target down the Broodlords, taking down one and going at it, but the Broodlords for EnDerr, at the same time, just doing so much damage into these, especially with the Hydras, and it looks like the entire, I mean, Air Force, at least, for Winter is going to be gone, and with a 1,300 mineral bank for EnDerr right now, he's probably going to be able to make a lot of Broodlords from these Corruptors if they can beat this force.
Yeah, it's actually turned out a little more even than I thought that was going to be. It looked like Winter's army was just kind of crumbling, but then he got the force underneath it that actually caused that to win.
Yeah, the force
down in the south, we've got the Roach Remax up on the production tab. It was 40-something Roaches for EnDerr, and that is all he's pushing out. Now, both of these guys are currently looking in kind of that survival phase to just get units out. They want stuff that builds fast, that they can get some DPS onto their opponent. And so, yeah, we saw like that tech up to the Broodlords, and now it's kind of reset to more the Tier 1, Tier 2 look.
Winter, though, does still have a small upgrade advantage right here to +1, but some nice fungals from EnDerr getting down and tons of infested Marines. EnDerr pushing really, really hard up into this and even bringing the spines along, you know, just saying, I'm going to root down here and I'm going to siege up. Infested Terran doing so much damage, almost the entire army of Winter gone. We see 10 more Roaches and 2 Infestors, but I don't know if this is enough. I feel like there's just too much out for EnDerr, but we will see how Winter is going to remax. I mean, some great fungal growths maybe, but he doesn't, or I know he does have pathogenic glands actually, so he will have some fungals straight off the bat.
Yeah, Winter is actually both of them are basically out of minerals at this point, which is actually surprising at this point in the game. They went from such big banks down to basically nothing here. Infestors are out, but they've kind of blown their energy, throwing down one more infested swarm egg. It's very scrappy, actually, in what's left here.
Yeah, what's nice. So good.
It's coming down to just these last few units, considering the huge armies that we had not long ago.
But the one key thing right here, though, is that there is still the 40 more workers for EnDerr, and so even though Winter currently is a little bit of a mineral lead, he does not have as many workers, and his workers are actually being forced to fight right here, pushing back these roaches in a desperate attempt from Winter, and these spine crawlers are doing so much damage. GG! EnDerr takes game 1.
Alright guys, welcome back to Deadwing, and spawning up in the north as our purple Zerg. He is down 0-1 in this best of 7. He is from My Insanity, Winter.
And his opponent, now sporting the handsome pink, it is from Team Psystorm, which seems inappropriate for Zerg, EnDerr.
I never thought of that, but I assume, yes, EnDerr Sword, you would be the one to think about that about EnDerr. But to start off this game, we see a lot of very, very early gas from Winter, and a lot more of aggressive spawning pool. Now, EnDerr Sword is going hatch first, I assume, and he may go for 3 hatch before pool. I highly doubt that in a ZVZ, but we're going to see Winter. He's probably going to put on a lot of aggression, and there's going to be not a ton to defend for EnDerr. Now, it's not all in by any means, but definitely Winter's looking to get some punches in here.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it was a gas before the pool for EnDerr's side as well, so he's going to have kind of the latest possible, but he will be able to move towards speed. Winter is pulling off gas, so it's just going to be speed, not banelings or anything, or at least not yet.
Yeah, and I think that's completely appropriate for this map. I feel like banelings, there's just, to actually go up this, I don't know if I want to say it ramp, but between the natural and the third base for EnDerr, it's so big that a spine crawler just has a lot of time to actually go at it. Yeah. And, obviously there's no vision blocked, so I don't know if banelings are the wisest idea, but yes, we will see the speedlings, which are going to be very strong on this map. Or actually, I kind of take that back. Obviously it is a 4-player map, but it is going to be strong anyways on such a wide open map.
Yeah, he's not... Well, he's pumping 4 Zerglings. We'll have to see how many more he decides to send out, but for now... Winter, adding on 2 more. Not necessarily game-ending damage. Maybe he was hoping that it was going to be like 3 hatch, and then he could pump more into Zerglings. But yeah, for now, he's properly identified, I believe, what his opponent is going for. He's not, hopefully, going to be taking too many unnecessary risks.
Yeah, he's actually not even sending them across. He's just keeping them at home, so it's not intended for the quickest impact aggression.
One nice thing for EnDerr here, though, is he is keeping 1 drone in that gas, so maybe some banglings, just trying to get a little bit of gas saved up to go into his next tech choice. Obviously, really, neither player has been yes, neither player has been aggressive until right now with a little scout from EnDerr into the natural, but for now, both players pretty much they can see completely what the opponent is doing, and now, yes, EnDerr does spot this force moving across the map.
Yep, the spine crawler is about halfway done at home for EnDerr. It is in the middle of the... he even surrounds it with his drones there just to give it a little bit more time to help finish. The queen positioned very carefully in the back as well, but it's speed versus slowlings, and for those surrounds, that is so important.
Literally not even 1 ling going down for Winter here while he chases down EnDerr's lings, and it looks like one ling for Winter there goes down, but speed so much quicker. Speed now will kick in for EnDerr in about a second. There it is kicked in, and this queen should be able to box out these lings for right now since they are so low in health. Yes, more lings come in, and this is going to be pretty much pushed back, but this has forced out a lot of lings for EnDerr where he would have preferred to be droning right there. And on the other side of the map, as I was saying, preferred to be droning, we do see Winter being 7 drones ahead there.
Yeah, exactly, and that's enough damage. Like, you can either get in and kill drones, or they can defend it with lings, and you're still basically effectively killing drones. Especially when you get a couple of lings for free. But here comes the kind of counter push here. 2 queens and a few lings are down, though. This should be pretty decent.
Yeah, so many lings right here for EnDerr will push pretty hard, but then once the the spine crawler comes up, it does push us all back. But like I was saying earlier, keeping 1 drone and gas for EnDerr, his baneling nest is about, I want to say 40 seconds faster, and he's morphing banelings right now. He's already got banelings while Winter does not even have that yet. So we're going to see how he's going to, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
I was gonna.
We're gonna see how he uses this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we do have the spine crawler getting some nice shots off. Fortunately, the majority of the drones have been evacuated into the main, which is of course great for Winter. Wow, those Banelings did almost nothing throughout the entirety of this game, and even the Zerglings have just done hardly anything.
Yeah, and I like what Winter did here. In the midst of that entire attack, he just left.
Yeah, in the midst of that thing, he's like, screw it, I gotta get some damage done, I gotta get some scouting in, and even morphing a Baneling right in the middle of these drones. Come on, I'd love to see, oh, well, we can't say, I'd love to see that, like, go off. That feeling when you're like, oh, I'm gonna be all sick and pull my drones, so the mine doesn't hit it. Oh, I'm gonna send one back, and then it just goes terribly awry. It was capitalized, by the way. It took me a good, I was like, not optimize, not prioritize, capitalize.
Makes sense.
Off the back of this, though, we do see from EnDerr going into roaches and getting down an Evo chamber, while on the other side for Winter, I mean, he's pretty much dedicated into this aggression. He's got his Baneling nest finally down, obviously, but no Evo chamber, no roach one. I feel like he's maybe not completely all in, but he's definitely, he knows he's got to make something happen right here.
Yeah, I feel like Winter may be going Spire when his lair finishes, because he hasn't committed to any tech like that. And obviously he's going to lair for something. I'm not sure about that. He doesn't have like the gas bank, at least yet. But still, he is taking a third there. Both of them are remarkably similar. I mean, the same drone count, the exact same army count is out there. So...
And what's interesting about this game at least, is neither player is doing any creep spread. Now, obviously there has been a lot of aggression from both of these players early on, kind of deterring that, but still just no creep spread at all, so interesting from them, and we will see, oh, perfect. Well, one Baneling, pretty much the entire aggression of Winter, just kind of pushed back into the corner right now. Cyber, what are your opinions for this?
Well, I mean, bringing back to that drone count, which was brought up, then we had Winter go for a round of drones, EnDerr going for a round of roaches, and it looks like EnDerr Sword, you are 100% correct. It is going to be into the Spire for Winter, and of course that is going to be off of those 3 base, but for now, that 3rd base is not being saturated. There's no drones on the transfer, although that may happen relatively soon. For now, it looks like it may just be for Larva.
But I kind of have the feeling EnDerr knows about this. He is pulling all his overlords back, saw that 3rd, and I mean, what I was going to say is really he wants to keep one overlord at the 3rd to say, is he going to take 2 more gas? But I feel like he just assumes this and is literally pulling all his overlords back into his natural base for now.
Yeah, that is a good point. Good anticipation that that's happening. He is sending an overseer into the main to verify this, and will go right by the Spire, so he should have time to get spores and everything up, at least in his bases. But the mutas could be pretty strong when they do make their presence known, and he'll be able to get about 10 of them, 10 or 11 of them.
Yep. Spotted,
spine
100%.
Yeah, very deliberate spotting there. These Lings, they're cute, and it's kind of one of those things that I feel like Winter is like, maybe, oh my word, is he actually going to slip in? If he gets any damage done, I will be very surprised.
Oh, beautiful. He actually looks like he'll get a little bit of damage done, because all of EnDerr's roaches are on the other side of the map, focusing down that, but he will get pushed back for now. Only a few roaches. I mean, there's a few upgraded roaches are so much better than the 0-0 for Winter. But at the 3rd base of Winter right here, roaches of EnDerr engaging. They will take out that queen and that spine crawler. As I was saying, he does have +1 attack here, while Winter does not. But we have a lot of mutalists coming in. That is for him. That is 10 mutas, but mutas take a long time to do any damage to these roaches.
Yeah, and that's kind of the important point.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this, I think, in another game yesterday, that when mutas come out, you want your opponent to first see the mutas in their mineral line. Yeah. If your mutas come out and the first thing they do is defend you, then that was not ideal.
Beautiful from Winter, at least control-wise. Yeah. They're actually, as I say that, I actually am not going to say that because these roaches are starting to work on his drones. But before that, he'd only lost 2 drones to all this harassment.
Oh!
And
everything is gone here. Like, the Spire's gone, the pool is gone.
He just lost 13 drones right there in that with those. I mean, EnDerr is playing magnificently here, and Winter's actually forced to go 35 onto his natural. His 3rd base is, I mean, it's just so much pressure being put on, it can't do much, but at the moment, really just for EnDerr, he's kind of pulling back and staying here, but oh, I love this. Just a couple roaches just hanging out there just to see if they can spot any mutas.
Yep, they are going to find the mutas, and as you were talking about, the drone control was quite nice, and then those roaches just popped back up out of the burrow. They were like, oh, goodbye all of your important tech infrastructure, which means for Winter, these mutas basically have to win him the game, I feel. I don't know if they're going to be able to, but it seems like he's in such dire straits.
And with 5 queens, okay, that Spore Crawler does go down, but with 5 queens, if he can hold on for a little bit longer, he will have a lot of transfuse to do on these Spore Crawlers, but he's just gotta make sure these mutas are constantly boxed out for the next couple of minutes, but it doesn't even look like he throws in the Spire now. I was gonna say, it doesn't even look like he's going Hydras or something to counter this, just hoping to hold on, and I think he's gonna do fine on this. And again, EnDerr's really just banking on, obviously Winter's banking on he's gotta stop this, but I'm just kinda like 25 roaches, 10 mutas can't kill armor. It's just like you're punching a piece of armor right here. It's not going to do much.
Yeah,
I mean, eventually they will wear them down.
Yeah, and if the Spire was alive, then by now you'd be like +1 attack or something. But because it was dead, he doesn't even get that. And also some risky positioning on where the new Spire is coming.
Just FYI, though, from Winter, he's really, really nicely got more drones in. I'm surprised he didn't try to go all in there just because of the mutas, but he won't be doing that for now. And I'm going to say, what always happens to me is I'll be like, it's so great to see the micro, and then a Baneling takes out 50 lings, and I'm like, never mind.
Ah, yes, the old caster curse. Whatever you say will inevitably be wrong. Hopefully, immediately after you say it, where you're like, neither player is going for a third, and then they both throw down thirds. But at any rate, Infestation Pit, the choice for Winter, and that's kind of an interesting transition of like, hey, we've got mutas. Those are gas heavy. Let's go into Infestation Pit. That is also gas heavy. We'll see how that works out for him, though.
Yeah, I feel like he probably wants to take a 4th base if he can somehow for that. But for EnDerr, not transitioning into more mutas or Infestation Pit, actually getting Tunneling Claws and just more upgrades. I mean, he's pretty committed into these roaches for now, at least. And I think that's a pretty good idea now. Okay, at first I was wondering whether he was going to go scout somewhere, but for EnDerr, he just loves changing his roaches, dividing them up.
He's just hitting his mutas there. I guess the lings were coming in to try and take out the queens. But unfortunately, we're getting the bad option from the Infestation Pit.
Yep.
That is their abbreviation.
Wow!
Ooh, the roaches, though. They are coming into the third. Oh, can EnDerr actually do some serious damage with this? No, he doesn't go for the Spire. He's not going for that infrastructure once more. He's got his sights set on something else. It's the natural hatchery. He targets it down. A couple of salvos there, just clean it up. And he will be spotting on the ramp those locusts.
Yeah, he does spot those locusts now, especially with that Overseer. He sees them, and interesting. I was going to say, what is he going to go for? Actually, trying to get the Queen at least, and actually just going for more drones. I feel like he's definitely just trying to get as much economic damage as he's done. He knows he can't stay long enough to actually remove buildings because of these mutas. He does have a timer, but drones are a very shorter timer.
I think he could snipe the Infestation Pit in time if he decided to prioritize that, and I might in his position.
He was able to get the Spire there, as you were about to say, but we do have the Queens walking themselves all the way across the map. EnDerr doesn't really want to play out too much longer than this, although we don't see any more units on the production tab. He was just streaming constant attacking units, and now he seems to be looking to transition, and there's the GG! EnDerr goes up 2-0 in this best of 7.
Back to ASL's Challenger League. We are in the semi-finals, and this has proven to be a really, really exciting game. Currently, one player up 2 games to his opponent of 0. And this third map will be Vani Research Station.
And in the south, hailing from Storm Gaming, the man who is up 2-0 in this best of 7, we have EnDerr.
And his opponent up in the top middle of the map from Team My Insanity, he is the not bad Winter.
The not bad Winter.
He's the not bad
I always love on Vani Research. We're even stuck. I was watching Saber's view right there when he laughed. Just nothing happened. It just got stuck halfway through the zoom. But I always love on this map. Everyone's different takes. Some people are like bottom spawn positions. Some people are like the 12 o'clock spawn position. It's because EnDerr Sword is totally just like the top middle spawn position. Well, there's only one top.
Totally top middle.
But we see some expert drone maker on the bottom right-hand corner attempting to stop that. Oh, I would have loved to actually see him kill this drone. It was only on 1 health.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, bro. Come on, EnDerr, bro.
Stick with it.
Bro, get it, bro. Nope.
Yeah, now
Okay.
we pulled off that extra drone for basically no reason. Is it going to be game deciding? Probably not. But what if it all came down to just that one drone? That would be insane. However, we do have the pool first coming out from EnDerr, hatch first coming out for Winter.
That would be great if it went into like a kind of draw situation where they have 1 worker left, and then Winter does not have the 1 worker, and then EnDerr.
Sick juke by that drone. Second juke. Now he's chasing them.
Man, they're running away.
It's
gone. All right, on Winter's side of the map, we see 6 Lings coming out to try to defect these 6 Lings, and I think Winter's going to be completely fine. Maybe a scout, but for this game, unlike the previous games, he is not gone for speed, or actually, I take that. Yeah, no, sorry, he's gone for speed and then left 1 drone in working. We see the drones being pulled, Lings coming in, and all these Lings should be taken out. But as I say that, he does pull the 1 drone from the extractor. But in the previous, in the previous games, he had also done that, but for a minute there, he actually kept the drone in there. The caster curses we were talking about.
Yeah. So I wonder if you just, didn't say anything for the rest of the game, would they just stop doing things? Because every time you say something, the players are like, we're going to make you wrong.
You collapse the quantum states into wrongness. That's
just
your role.
All of StarCraft would end.
They're not going to both go swarm host. On Bonnie Research Station, supposed to be powerful. By the way, Winter has EnDerr on the run and may actually catch a queen out of position, but just I'm actually not sure who's going to win here. It does look like EnDerr is going to barely come out of that alive, very barely not losing that queen, but Winter's going to be able to push back pretty hard if he can get out of actually doing a round of Lings, but his speed is almost done, while EnDerr's literally is not even started yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see where he decides to go for this. We do have a slight, though, almost inconsequential drone lead, as it's not necessarily the sort of drone lead that will win games, but the Roach Warren, that's where all of the gas is going to be going. Ooh, wow, fast layer for Winter.
Yeah, and I'm assuming he's going. I'm assuming he's going mutas only because in the game, before this game, I was like, hey, well played. I hope we can tie this up or whatever. And Winter was just like, I go muta. He can't handle muta. And I was like, okay then. I guess that works. And I wonder if that's because EnDerr, he only ever goes roaches, but at the same time, every time he's gone roaches in these past 2 games, or at least, in the previous game, in all the other games I've casted of Winter, when his opponent has gone mutas, he simply just says, EnDerr just says, I'm going to make 50 more roaches, and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and it seems that is handling mutas.
Yeah.
And he did that the game before, so I'm not sure I follow the logic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Winter saying that, but we'll see. It's definitely a lot quicker this time. He's going directly for it when it was more of a deviation before. But yeah, there comes the Spire.
Yep. Good old 2-base Muta making its comeback in the meta. Now we do have the more traditional into 3rd base into roaches, +1 attack, roach speed, which I feel like was more the meta 6-ish months ago, is where that was every single ZVZ. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll have to see if these Lings are going to actually spot that for Winter.
Yeah, and EnDerr completely committing into these roaches for here. Oh, and the nice 3rd base, as you're saying, but EnDerr is completely committed into this, and I feel like with the proper amount, it's kind of we will see a queen get destroyed down here from Winter. Very nice pick off. But it's kind of like the situation where you have different players in early Wings of Liberty totally just being like, okay, you know what? Void raise the counter to Roach. And then as Trigonal always says to me, is Stefano is like, not if I make 200 roaches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the case. And once again, EnDerr knows, he saw the Spire, so he came in and scouted that. He knows he's going to be ready. He's got roach speed. He's going to have roach attack. Winter is almost just not getting enough. You still need some ground army. You can't just spine crawler out 40 roaches. And that's what he tried to do in the previous game. There has to be some Lings or something to pad and hold while your mutas do something. You can't just be chasing them.
Yeah, now fortunately, Winter adding on that Roach Warren just like you were talking about, because again, leaving those gaps in your army composition is just such an easy way to take an even game, or maybe a game where you're ahead with that heavy tech switch, and then just be like, oh, well, I guess I lost because I didn't actually have real units.
Cover this,
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, by the way, at least EnDerr, for a while, was on 3 queens to Winter's only 1 for a while, and only now 2. And I'm just kind of surprised by that, because we did see Winter trying to pick off that last queen. But I'm really curious how this is going to affect the game, because I realized in the previous 2 games he also has not made a queen at that 3rd base.
Yeah. Now here's the little Roach run by again, but now there are some Lings that can at least threaten to hold the Roaches in place, and they actually have to turn around. There's also just playing less of them, but or at least less that went. There's another group, but that's the force that he sees.
What I'm loving out of EnDerr, at least in these situations, though, is he's, in every game, just got +1 weapons for these Roaches right off the bat, and I think that's really favoring him in a lot of these engagements where we see from Winter literally not getting any upgrades.
Ooh, and Winter, he's got the Zergling force field here on the ramp, going to be trapping a couple of those Roaches. Only 2 of them will really make it into the main base, and, well, I don't know where those mutas are flying off to, but they should be going for those Roaches. Should be able to clean them up, no problem, pretty much at all. The 3rd base is the point of contention, though, for EnDerr. He's actually going to be doing a bit of damage there, not really killing too many more drones, but the Roach flood is not over.
Yeah, more Roaches flooding in, and they're actually going for the natural here where there is 2 Roaches burrowed. I wonder if he's going to burrow a couple more of these and then go for it, but it looks like all drones being pulled, and Roaches doing tons of damage right here, and actually saying, we're not going for the drone, we're actually just going to try to focus this down, and wait, what?
He's changing his mind. I think he's not...
Yeah, he didn't attack for one. Oh. Perfect, nice. He does cancel that upgrade. Oh, I love that in the little WCS Game Hard overlay, it just says denied in the top right-hand corner. Or in the bottom, right.
So yeah, getting a lot of damage done there. He does have burrow movement as well. I don't know if he's shown the movement. Obviously, he's shown burrow.
Did he slash dance right there? Because he didn't attack for a second, and then I wasn't quite paying attention, but they just didn't attack for 1 second for one of the volleys.
I'd kind of hope not.
You would hope
very
not.
Aggressive.
It's something that potentially could have happened, but the other kind of point of this engagement is that 12 additional drones going down. Now, early on, only a couple of drones were killed for each side, but this is a little bit more significant than that, considering when you add on the sheer lost mining times, because every drone was running every which way.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how much this economy is going to be doing for Winter in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully, he's got enough.
Yeah, EnDerr again still had some hidden back in the natural base, so they are up again now. He's got another group submarining towards the 3rd. There's no defense there. There's detection, but no defense.
Submarining, I love that. But yeah, EnDerr really just banking off. Oh no, he does have detection there. Yeah, sorry, you were correct. I don't know why I just said that, but from EnDerr really banking off of trying to get that. We do see the 3rd base narrowly get away with 29 health of EnDerr here. Oh wait, it may not get away actually to that.
Yeah.
This is going to be...
Is he going to finish it? He needs to just hit it once. I think he backed out. He put the last volley in, and then a transfuse hit, and he ran away.
Yeah. But really, as you were saying, though, EnDerr just he's banking off getting economic damage done, and he's doing exactly that. 3rd base denied, all working from, and 21 workers so far dead for Winter. At the same time, in the main of Winter, we do see EnDerr pushing really, really hard, killing all the Roaches. More mutas are trying to come out to defend against this, but all the mutas were destroyed previously. Also, Roaches is really trying to get back into this, but I mean, he just does not have the economy to actually produce off of this, especially going back to that 1 queen. No transfuses on the 3rd. We're providing only 4 or 5 larvae.
Yeah, there's just all sorts of problems here for Winter to try to deal with. Going back to that +1 attack that got canceled so much earlier in the game means that even these Roach fights that are happening, there's just the big advantage for EnDerr.
Yeah, Winter's got to get some economic damage done. Just somehow, I feel like you keep defending, keep defending, keep defending. You don't really quite think of it. Each time he does try to go over to his opponent, it's just barely pushed back. And as we were saying, if he would have taken out that 3rd, I think he would have been in a magnificent position. But it does not look like he will be able to.
He was like 1 volley from 4 mutas away from killing it, and I think he
not even 1 volley, 2 volleys from 1 muta. So sorry, 1 volley.
I think he thought that he was he swooped in for the last shot, and a transfuse hit it, and he was gone. And I kind of think, did he think there was 1 left, and so he left. And by the time he realized, he had backed them up.
Yeah.
Like it was very strange.
Yeah, those mutas won't be able to do anything now, though, because EnDerr is kind of transferring into a 50-50 of Hydras and Roaches. And versus mutas, that's pretty good. Versus only pure Roaches, it kind of screws you over because the Hydras just have so little health. But for now, I mean, we do see EnDerr pushing really hard across the map.
Yeah, and we've got almost double the supply at this point, like, or at least 70 ahead here. And I don't know that he's going to be able to stand to this at all. The mutas are melting in the air. Roaches are actually just commanding around the other wave. Yeah.
GG.
That +2 attack. Yeesh. Potentially the final match, and I know there was a little bit of issue with the last time we jumped into this match, but we are good to go now. Hopefully there will be no more crashes from our lovely observer and production man Saber, but let's kick things off with the player in the south.
On Expedition Lost in the bottom left-hand corner, as Cyber was saying, the south position player representing Storm Gaming. He's currently up 3 matches to 0. It is the Pink Zerg, EnDerr.
And his opponent in a 45-degree rotational angle from the top. It is from Team My Insanity, our Purple Zerg, Winter.
In the 1:30 o'clock position, or 45 degrees from his opponent, also diagonal from his opponent, we have Winter. Yes.
Yeah.
Is this like the casting competition of like, who can come up with the longest winded way to describe the spawn positions?
In the spawn position that is roughly 20 in-game meters to the right of the natural base of the top right-hand corner, we have Winter.
Just introductions the entire game long.
Sounds
man,
right.
introductions to Lings come out is what I say. But both players, actually, I take that back. Winter's gas is a lot later, not doing any aggression like he hasn't really done it in previous games, but it definitely was not as late as it is here. While EnDerr doing exactly what he's done each game is get enough for gas, then leave one boy in there, and I'm guessing he's going to go up to Banelings. Now that I say that, I'm going to be Artosis and be like, that's not actually going to happen, but I think that's what's going to happen.
I have no idea where your prediction actually stands now. You've thoroughly confused me.
Banelings. He's going to go Banelings after this because what he's done in every single game, he's thrown 3 into the extractor, gotten speed, left 1 in like he's doing right now, and then he uses that rest to go Baneling Nest. And that rhymed. I feel like it's obviously going to go. It's going to happen.
That's kind of rhymed. Yeah, if it rhymes, it's true.
Yes, so I go.
It's like the OJ trial.
It's very
innocent. Yeah. Got a few Lings poking in here. Queen is on the ramp to hold things off. Although then he just lets them by anyway.
He's like, I'm going to guard this ramp. Oh, never mind.
Forget about this. So he does get in, sees what's going on. Eventually
sees the wiggle in spawning pool, too.
Exactly. He sees if the waters are shaking.
Yeah, man, if the waters are shaking.
Then look out. So, yeah, Baneling Nest coming down for Winter's side of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the
Roach Warren on the other.
Yeah, for EnDerr. So we've kind of got this split. It could be the later Roach Warren for Winter. I don't know, maybe he's really wanting to go like Ling Bane, but of course, once he sees that with his Overlord, he knows... Or actually, these Zerglings should be able to spot the Roach Warren, so he should have a good read on what his opponent is doing. And I mean, it's not that far off what he himself is doing.
See, I feel like, yes, he has got a great read on his opponent. Does he actually even see that layer? No, he does not see that layer go down. But at the same time, each game he's gone mutas to defend these roaches, I feel like he's really got to switch it up. And, I mean, getting the early layer like he is, I'm guessing mutas. But then again, he is pushing out 10 Lings right here. If he can make something happen here, I'd love to see that. But I have a feeling he's just going to do muta again. But, I mean... It's just, you can't do this on this map, especially when you have to really get the 6 bases of gas to get that going, and it's really hard to get a 3rd base on this map.
Yeah, I agree. I think he is just doing muta again. He may take a poke with Banelings, but I think this is just playing a full wall off, eh? So,
yeah, it actually looks like it's a legitimate entire wall off, and he's just like...
Yeah, it is. So, okay, he canceled it now, so he doesn't want to continue with that. I think he was worried about a handful of Banelings just coming in here before he was set up for it. Now that he's got some roaches out, he's fine.
He even actually queued up 2 more Evo chambers behind that second Evo chamber just to block it off, and then when he got out, so he definitely thought it was going to be some sort of Baneling all-in.
And
Winter actually getting...
Spire. Yeah.
It was in Winter also getting an Overseer on the right-hand side just to make sure he sees what's going on, or to see that early burrow that we've seen from EnDerr each time, and also to deny the third base.
Woo. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, other than that little, I guess, Baneling potential poke, we're just in the same game again here. EnDerr has no reason to be scared of anything. He's going for the road speed again, the +1 attack again. He's just doing everything the same way, because why would he change if his opponent doesn't?
Yeah, and Winter denying some creep also really nice from him.
I mean, why would you stop what works if your opponent isn't going to change it up is exactly what you were saying. And EnDerr, he's a believer in that particular strategy. Now, as we can see in the main base of Winter, one of you did mention the Overseer, but both players going for that Overseer scout action, and oh, buddy, EnDerr, man, he loves his burrow play.
Yeah, and there it goes again. I think he should actually go... we were talking about the map before the game, and the back rocks are there, which can be a second entrance in. I think EnDerr does want to rip them down. One advantage the map does have while the rocks are still intact is that the 2 ramps for the natural and main are so close together that a big spine crawler presence at the natural is really good. So that can prevent a lot of the run-bys. But one is attack happening at the third, and he's just going to lose that.
Yeah,
So, or at least if he attacks it.
Yeah, I mean, Winter pushes up with a couple lings and just gets completely denied and pushed back. In the third will be taken down. Some Mitas here trying to deny it, but I mean, I have a feeling all these roaches will get away, only losing a couple. Maybe they will be run down, but still, those roaches did their job. And roaches going into the natural of Winter also, but there's so many spine crawlers, I don't think they can do anything. Ooh, actually, I guess they can do something. They can say, we can go around.
Like one of them makes it. So, I mean, this is the better position. Like, you can see what I was talking about there. You can get stuck on that ramp. You can get... what's going on here? Okay. He's actually making a Baneling nest for real this time.
What I would love to see from EnDerr is how he's been doing lots of little hit squads in previous games. I'd love to see him just remove these rocks and then just go up with tunneling clawed roaches in the main.
He's still got 1 bird in the main because he's good like that. And so far we haven't had Winter adapt to look for that. Or maybe he's looking, but he's not seeing it with the multitasking.
Yeah, Winter doing a little push, but won't actually happen.
This would be huge. The Mute is going after the Roach Warren before the upgrade finishes.
Yeah, and they will actually cancel it. Yeah. That's a big deal.
That is a very, very big deal.
Yeah. Those tunneling claws have been so important.
Yeah, each game the tunneling claws have done a lot there. I'm very surprised he didn't stay there and just work on it, but he knows he needs to get this third base up to keep his economy going because he needs 6 gas to really produce mutas. A very nice links around actually will stop a lot of these roaches from getting out, and these mutas will do their job, removing all these roaches completely, and this is looking decent for EnDerr now, or Winter, but Winter's got to be really careful he's got to get rid of all these roaches before they start destroying his economy like they have in previous games.
Yeah, this one roach that was bird in the main is now going to kill that queen. Before it's taken out. But this is the destruction of that one Roach Warren has changed this game more dramatically than like you could really even imagine. It prevented this onslaught. Like EnDerr's been relying on constantly attacking and never letting the mutas do what they are now doing and actually ever harassing. And now he's finally got a hand free for like a minute to do this.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a very good point. That's the one difference that we have had between these games. And he doesn't quite get the
extractor.
Yeah, much like...
one muta. That's one muta shot. 9 damage will kill the 5.
Yeah, he keeps doing that.
That's like that Bonnie game where he didn't quite get the third, and then EnDerr was just like, LOL, thanks. Right. I'm just going to win now.
Oh, lol, thanks. Just push across the map with roaches.
Little Ling run by here may clean some of this up. He's got roaches in time. We'll drive that off.
Winter has been doing Lings for a long time, and in multiple defenses, they've really not done anything for him, but now he is getting Baneling speed, and Winter doesn't have that much of a bank up, though, but it's going to be really interesting to see what he's going to do with these Lings. I mean, he's been keeping a constant supply of Lings for a lot of this game, while in each attack of the Roaches, they've just kind of been like, hey guys, oh crap, I can't actually do anything. I'm going to get out of here.
Now, drawing back to game number 1, we saw kind of a similar situation, not exactly the same, but similar, where Winter seemed to have a reasonable advantage. Maybe not game-winning, but a reasonable advantage. And actually, he's looking to push that advantage with, well, he's not actually getting very many drone kills at all currently.
Oh, he
was focusing the spore itself. It was just kind of bouncing, but now he'll take the lair out, and it doesn't look like there will be a way to stop that. But he is losing the third for that. He's got a ton of roaches moving into the natural too, so I think he may lose, his bases in exchange for that one lair.
Yeah, Lair will be sniped while EnDerr going into the main of Winter right here, and the Mutas are going to have to pull back to actually deal with this. The third base of Winter also being destroyed, and EnDerr just going ham onto all of these drones here, but only 14 killed so far, and only 6 drones actually Winter has killed, but the entire main will be evacuated, and if Winter can push this back, or at least kill these roaches before they take out the lair, he's going to be a fantastic position. Hopefully, he will capitalize on that position.
Yeah, the detection is leaving.
Did any of you hear the windows turning on sound?
I did, but I also saw the infestation pit getting sniped by, well, EnDerr. He was able to snipe that from Winter, and again, we've got the similar situation where the tech, like in game number 1, where it was faster for Winter, it's the reverse. Now it's going to be so much faster for EnDerr.
Yeah.
Yeah, and EnDerr's got these infestors out right now.
Is he going to see them?
Oh, no fungal.
He doesn't see that. He could have caught them, or he could have been caught. There are still 4 roaches in the main. They're going to pop up at the worst possible moment and kill the lair. I just know they are.
Yeah. Okay, then.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. We do see the third, at least the third base. For EnDerr is a lot. Technically, it's his main base, but the main base is a lot quicker to reproduce than the third hatch of Winter here, and that may help him. But we do see the roaches going into the main base of Winter. That was the 4 ones that you said would come in a terrible time, and it is a terrible time as Winter was actually trying to do a run by, but has to pull these lings back. I'd love to see a few banelings. That's exactly what he's doing the banelings to go into that mineral line.
Yeah, that's something that could actually just completely turn the game around, because the one sort of, well, one of the advantages, they're actually going to get spotted. Very well done here by EnDerr. The one advantage that EnDerr has had consistently for the last couple of minutes has been that eco, as we were talking about, just the constant harass that he's been putting out on Winter, and Winter had an opportunity to equalize that up, to really change the eco game, but completely shut down. Very well played by EnDerr.
And again, just FYI, EnDerr has 20 more drones than Winter, not only getting a lot of economic damage done to his opponent, but still staying good on those drones and actually deciding he's going to go Hydras, getting the Hydra +1 range, which is really going to help him get rid of these Mutas, because that's really that's the one key thing that's kind of annoying him here. And in the previous games, he's just steamrolled through them, but early on, as we were saying, taking out that Roach Warren stopped all the upgrades and really stopped EnDerr just in his tracks here. But I feel like with these Hydras coming out, he's going to, I have a feeling he's probably going to push back again just with Roach Hydra and do a really good job, as we've seen in the past 3 games.
Yeah, and Winter, again, just adopting this posture of constant defense, even, like, taking a flock of mutas, and he's looking for, like, the 1 or 2 roaches that are still out there, and it's just not a good use of those. Like, have something look for them, have some static defense that is able to get them, but you're wasting 20 mutas hunting for a tiny little group. They need to be doing something.
He actually cancels the hive right there.
Yeah.
Mind games.
Ow.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 roach. Oh my gosh. He's going to restart the hive and the roach is going to see it, man.
Yeah.
These lings in the main just not doing all that much. We keep seeing Winter in these situations. Again, calling back to game number 1, he was definitely at an advantage, a couple of points there, and just not able to capitalize on it. Whereas now, he's going back into Swarm Host. That did not work out on Deadwing. Maybe it'll work out a little bit better here, as you guys were mentioning, EnDerr particularly bringing up that Roach Warren again. That paused for so long, EnDerr, like you were talking about, but it hasn't stopped him, and now EnDerr may be looking for blood. Roach Hydra Infester in the middle of the map. These mutas have to be so careful, they could get absolutely shredded.
Yeah. Winter knows he's got to make something happen right here and saying, I'm going to do that through Swarm Hosts. 4 more on the way. That'll put him up to 6, but I don't think they're going to be out in time when this is going to attack, and his mutas are just hanging out in the middle of the map doing nothing.
Yeah, and again, there's a single roach in the main. Like, doing roach things. And
One attempt at a counterattack.
And at no point during the entire game have I felt that Winter has made a reasonable effort to defend his own third base. He keeps putting it back up, but he's never actually tried to defend it at all. And yeah, 4 swarm hosts full of locusts, one of them does die, is not enough.
Yeah. And these mutas are trying to destroy the little reinforcement line, but there's just so many infestors.
Fungal on everything.
Beautiful fungal. Second
There
fungal
we
goes
go.
down. GG.
Yep.
EnDerr 4-0ing Winter.